So yeah, at the moment I'm formatting the floppies on the Snowflake, our old Dell Optiplex Pentium 3 system. Oh, it's just about done. Yeah, they need to be formatted in this computer first before they want to work in that one. When you're in the other room putting some stuff on a USB stick, you come back to this. Okay then. There you go. Oh Jesus, it's going full. Oh, what? The fuck you doing? Oh, glorious, isn't it? So for this I'm using WinImage 8 because that's the last version that runs on Windows 98. So I'm using that to open up image files. I have a whole bunch of image files from MS-DOS 6, which might be handy, and as well as a bunch of image files from Windows 3.11, not the workgroups version, because we're not going to do a lot of extensive networking on the laptop. Yeah, you needed a lot more disks back in the day. So that's 3 disks for MS-DOS and 6 for Windows 3.11 and a extra disk for data stuff. Yeah, we're ready to rumble. Something laptop, okay. Hello folks, today something a little bit different. We're gonna take a look at a vintage laptop. Vintage. It's from 1993 and it's made by Texas Instruments. Yes, Texas Instruments made laptops apparently. I had no idea. I used their graphical calculators obviously during school, and I vaguely knew they made some computers back in the day, but apparently they also made a bunch of laptops before they got bought over by Acer or something, I believe it was. So yeah, today we're gonna take a close look at the Texas Instruments TravelMate 4000. Look at that, Windows for Workgroups 3.11, beautiful. So we got this thing from the second-hand store here for a whole whopping €5. It was lying in a pile of old laptops. Most were broken, I think, but then yeah, it kind of caught my attention when I saw these serial ports on the side here and looked pretty old. So it's like, let's take a look at it. And to my surprise, Texas Instruments. So quick little side note: you'll probably notice that the front cover of the floppy drive is missing. That's because I actually haven't fully reassembled this thing yet, because the floppy drive belt is broken and I fixed it with Hansaplast. So it's a little bit MacGyvered, but hopefully it will work long enough until we have reinstalled DOS and Windows. It is complete except for the battery that's missing and the power adapter as well. I now customized a existing Motorola power adapter to sort of fit in the socket in the rear here. It's a really weird 3-pin socket, 2 big pins, 1 small pin, and well, whatever. But hey, it works, so. So, first it's time to install a MS-DOS 6.22. That's comes in a total of 3 of these floppies. And then we can install Windows 3.11, which comes in a whole whopping 6 floppies. In fact, Workgroups comes in a whole 9 floppies, so it's gonna be a lot of swapping. But yeah, let's have some fun, hopefully. First, gotta turn it off. The tension is rising. yeah, by the way, you might notice that the laptop is taken apart now. That was because the belt actually already broke. So I had to fix it again with good old Hands of Classic again. But it's, you know, seems to work again.
Famous last words?
Yeah, so let's hope it stays working until at least have MS-DOS installed. That would be great.
Someday, or no.
Bad or missing command interpreter. The mystery unravels.
Yeah.
And then unravels itself again. Okay. By the by, this is the first time, at least for me, that I'm installing DOS. Last time I used MS-DOS was, I think when I was like 14 or something. So, yeah, excuse me if this all seems a bit newish and stuff, because, well, it is.
Kids these days. Oh. Magic.
Okay, so there we go.
Whoa.
Okay, welcome to Setup.
It prepares MS-DOS.
Yeah,
That's a funny way of phrasing it.
MS-DOS is a bit fragile. It needs to be prepared first.
Aww. Poor thing.
So we press enter. This version is
Did you back up everything?
Yeah, I backed up our basic programs. They're on. You wanna continue? Because we wanna go through the entire thing.
No, it says it's 1989.
I removed the CMOS battery because it was starting to corrode, and that's the last thing you want inside your electronic device, is a leaking battery. So I removed it, but we don't have a replacement yet. So it has amnesia. So.
Poor thing.
Yeah, well, we're not in the US and it's not 98. But
there goes my synthwave dream, Draggy.
Yeah. Okay, so should be doing the thing now.
The thing.
So yeah. Let's just see how far it will get. At some point it will ask for floppy 2 and then floppy 3, and that should be done.
Now is a great time to fill out your registration card. Registration card. Oh no. Try again.
This will probably happen a lot. Luckily it seems it's kind of expects that, you know.
Draggy, do you want to be kept up to date?
That's 1%, so that's progress.
Yeah.
So yeah. Guess we'll pop back when it somehow made it. Yes. Okay, so while it's giving errors and installing MS-DOS, I will tell you guys some bits about the hardware. This thing. It has a 486 SX CPU, which is well, a bit of a, I guess, a cheaper version of the 486 in that it has no floating point unit. So floating point is in software. It has a whole whopping 4 megabytes of memory. And it currently has a 127 megabyte hard drive in there. The screen, as you saw, is an LCD screen in good old grayscale. It also has a VGA graphics chip, which can output VGA now to the TV. It can do a maximum resolution of 640 by 480 pixels at a maximum of 65k colors, which is quite impressive actually, except that the graphics chips only supports 16 colors on the screen at one time. Yeah, it has PCMIA slot on there, so you can add things like network cards or another serial interface or whatever you want. It also has a serial interface, serial ports on there, and that's about all she wrote, really. So here we go. MS-DOS 6.22 is now installed on your computer. Restart computer rooms and press enter. What's new? Okay, well, I guess here we go. Let's see what happens. I think it started
looks like
MS-DOS. Yeah. So now we're going to attempt to install Windows 3.11. We were successful with MS-DOS. Yay! Now I'm gonna see. I think I need to run the Windows setup.exe from the floppy from within MS-DOS. Let's see what happens. Of course, that happens. Do this at home, kids. And don't copy that floppy. It just needs to get in there. It probably needs to load quite a lot.
Oh.
Oh!
There you go. Success. No problem.
Now I need to read everything.
Easy every time.
So let's hope again, as with. There we go. Now our hope is that, as with MS-DOS, the installation, whenever it had a read error, which happened a lot, it would just ask, "Do you want to retry?" and just keep retrying until it works.
It should.
So.
Also, are you sure this is Windows 3.11?
Yeah, I downloaded 3.11.
Okay.
Even if it's 3.1, it's still fine with me. But, okay, so the setup program for Windows 3.1 prepares Windows. That's the exact same text as MS-DOS.
Yes.
To learn more, yeah, that's the exact same. Okay, press enter. Express setup. I guess we'll just see what it does. Now how many errors we will get.
Okay.
Performing upgrades. Oh, we're upgrading.
Upgrading.
We're upgrading all the way back to to the 90s.
1993.
83, is that old?
93?
93. Well,
But the laptop is 90.
Laptop is 93.
Windows 3 is from 1990, I believe.
90. Okay, well, no.
Please don't quote me on that.
Okay, now we'll see you guys again when it's done.
Yes.
I need some minimal lunch for this shit.
Oh man, I was like, what's missing from my life right now? And I was like, oh man.
Well, it sure isn't me, I hope.
Whoa, that's a really red error.
Jesus. I like the MS-DOS version way more.
Write down the number of this message.
Well,
product support.
We can try. We can try calling Microsoft.
Maybe we can call one of those Microsoft tech supports in India.
Yeah. I'm sure. Hello, my name is Jim.
My name is John. Yes.
John. Oh yeah, John. That was the one. But it just says to quit. Yeah, come on. That's not.
I guess I was wrong. Welcome to QBasic or QBasic.
Yeah, so the Windows installation will be postponed until we have a proper belt for a floppy drive.
You should remove that enter, by the way. 2 enters there.
Okay. Okay.
And there's another 2 enters down there.
Yeah, well, you're an enter.
No.
So yeah, this is QBasic 1.1. And we both made a little program in it. Rachel made a little guessing game, and I made a ray tracer.
Yeah, this is.
Oh yeah. So this is the main code. Now what? What QBasic does? It has. If you press F2, this is really neat actually. I really like this. because every time you declare a new subroutine, it puts it in a separate, a separate module. So, so this is the main module. This is the main code where everything happens. And here we have the subroutine guessing and the subroutine main. Just open that. And there we go. So every subroutine is in its own separate little thing. That's kind of nice because otherwise you just have one like big piece of code, and it's just, oh man.
The difference is that I actually wrote my code on my Windows 7 machine using QBasic, so that's a bit of a difference because my QBasic IDE doesn't use any of that, so it's just one list of
QBasic is just a modern. I guess you could say a modern version of this.
Yeah, it's like and it's really cool. And it also supports .bas files, so you could open this on there. Yeah, and this is something I'd like to do whenever I'm not much of a programmer, but like when I get into like a scripting language or a programming language, I like to make like a number guessing game. So
well, that's a good template, I guess.
Yeah. I've done it for C++, I've done it for QBasic without QBasic syntax, and I think some other languages too. So yeah, it's really basic, no pun intended. But there's not much mathematical stuff going on. It's just comparing a bunch of variables, and this is how they would make programs back in the day. You can.
Say that, but I think it was mostly.
I mean QBasic.
Assembly.
No, I mean QBasic. Back in the day, and when people used BASIC in general, it was usually BASIC wasn't really meant for graphical stuff. Is what I'm trying to say. It was made for like simple text things, and we'll get to the graphical stuff later.
Yeah, when we look at my ray tracer. Yeah.
Yes.
But so just one thing I wanted to mention. You'll notice that these declare subs are all the way up here, and ignore this. This is just the first difference we noticed between QBasic and the original QBasic is that in QBasic you can't put these declare subs like after a command like print, sleep, or here these assigns these variables. The declare subs need to be the first thing that happens, you could say. It's fine to declare variables and stuff before subs, but you can't assign them, you can't do commands or anything because you will get an error. In QBasic, it doesn't really matter where you put the declare subs. Apparently, that's just fine.
And of course, when I wrote this program in my QBasic IDE, I used a little thing. So yeah.
Your butt is in the way. So yeah. So that sets the language to QBasic then, I guess.
Yes. Let me remove that again.
Yeah. Claire. Hey Claire.
Hey Claire. Well, yeah, that's it. So if you're looking to do QBasic stuff on a modern system, you could do that in QBasic, and you could even compile it. But keep in mind that there's still going to be some differences. Oh, yeah, and this is my program.
Yeah. So now I'm running it.
So press space. So
3, I guess.
You have to pick two numbers, a low and a high one.
But what if I pick a lower number now?
Oh!
Didn't think of that, did you?
No.
Okay, so
I'll probably have a little F in there.
There's an extra space here. Oh, there's no space there. Oh, you're fired.
No, fired from my QBasic job. Because a QBasic programmer.
That must
in 2019.
That must have a high pay grade.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Wrong.
You're wrong.
Try again.
7. Last time I did the second. Oh wow, it really hates me. Would 9 also count?
Yes, it would.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh. Wow!
I know!
You bastard!
So bastard.
I don't want to play again. No, screw you.
Goodbye.
That
Thanks
says
for playing.
goodbye, and thanks for all the fish.
Yes.
Thanks for all the QBasic.
Yes. Thanks for all the code. There you go.
So, yeah.
So that's very simple how you set up a little program like that. And it still uses all the because that's what I set out to do. I did want to use all the QBasic stuff. So I did want to do I want to make use of subs and yeah, everything QBasic related. And I think I did that.
Well,
Oh, that's another thing, by the way. If you want to declare variables or use variables, you have to use like, unless you do a little trick, which Draggy can explain, but you have to signify that with like a character. Like a string is a dollar symbol, as you can see.
yes,
right
what we have here, right here.
Yeah.
So now.
Except for integers. Integers don't need any symbols.
Yeah, but if you wanna be absolutely sure, this will make sure that if you have something like user guess over here, so if you declare and define a variable like this, but you don't add a symbol to designate what kind of variable it is, an integer, a single, a double, etc., then it will default, absolutely default to an integer always. So that's kind of like a safeguard to make sure that whatever you do, it at least will be an integer.
Yeah.
Be sure of that.
Unless you clarify otherwise, I guess.
Unless you clarify otherwise, yeah, that is correct. So in this case, yes or no does have it designated. So.
Yeah, I found out about this later, so that's why my program doesn't have that. If you like QBasic, you need to download it. Give them all the love.
Yeah, it's I actually I derped around with it too, and I made a little software renderer, of course.
Yes.
It was fun. I really abused objects as well.
Yeah. You can do. That's also a thing in QBasic, by the way. You can use types.
Yes. Well,
not as objects, I believe, in QBasic, but in FreeBasic you can. A type is basically like a class.
So this is my simple ray tracer.
Simple, like because so Draggy saw me writing my program, and because we both wanted to write a little program to demonstrate QBasic on this laptop, and Draggy was like, you know what, I'm gonna outperform.
Types, yeah. So well, there we go. Types. I have quite a bunch of types in my program to make things a little bit more unified and simple. This whole area is very frequently used. So obviously in 3D mathematics you're gonna use a lot of vector mathematics. So I just made it as a type and a whole set of subs. So my ray tracer only does spheres. It doesn't actually have model data or anything in there. It just mathematically calculates a 3D sphere. No, oh yeah, this is another thing about QBasic. It doesn't have booleans.
Oh.
So yeah, I just kind of end up using integers. Which is kind of a waste of memory, really.
Yeah, it is a bit.
Since I think an integer is 16-bit, 2 bytes, and a boolean could just be 1. I'm not very consistent in my variable names, you might notice. But so yeah, and here's all the variables and subroutines for the ray tracing itself. You can see it's quite a bit.
By the way, if you want to read his program like more thoroughly, you can find it on his website.
Ah yeah, I should probably include the link in the description below.
By the way, that's also a new feature, being able to comment on the same line. You couldn't do that in previous versions of Basic.
That is correct. Yeah, I use that a lot because it's a bit
I
more.
know, it's handy.
It's a bit more clear, but this is where all the magic happens.
This is where the magic happens. So yeah, shall we get to rendering then?
Yeah, we need to charge the camera, and then we'll and then we'll get to rendering. That's a good idea.
And
Okay.
let's see how it looks like.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Hold on to your butt.
Okay, so time to run this bad boy. That is in 29 minutes. It rendered a bunch of spheres, four sphere, with shadows and reflections. So, yeah. Obviously the detail is a little bit limited because there's only 16 shades of grey. But I still want to implement dithering. So it'll have a little bit more detail and it'll look a little bit smoother, and I also want to add color. Now it's just grayscale, so make it look a little bit interesting. But yeah, this is my ray tracer, Raycaster, ray tracer.
Raycaster could still be in real time.
Yeah, Raycaster. I was actually working on the Raycaster as well, but I didn't have much inspiration. But yeah, so. Yep, that's my program.
I see a Raycaster.
Well, if we get Doom running on this, then you know. Or I had downloaded Wolfenstein 3D actually. So that you know.
Doom is not a Raycaster, by the way.
No, but isn't it similar technique? Well, anyways, Wolfenstein 3D is a Raycaster, so there you go. La-di-da.